Hello, Anna. I hope that you've had a beautiful day today so far. Hello, Kimberly. How are you doing, my friend? So, I don't know if you have seen it yet or not, but just a heads up, and I'll probably say this several times just so everybody knows what's going on. I changed my name on TikTok again, and hopefully for the absolute last time. I do like the new change, though, and I think it will stick a little bit better. Glad you're doing okay, my friend. So, welcome in, everybody. Welcome to the Soul Group Live. You just saw it. Awesome. I liked the Magic Shop. There was a reason that I used that, but actually, it was kind of confusing to some people. Thank you, Kimberly. I appreciate the rose. Not only that, but I also had like a name one way, and then my handle on TikTok was "Think for Yourself, Question Authority," and people were confused on which was the right way to actually find my account and stuff. And pretty much everybody that I talk to knows me by Magi anyway. That's what I started TikTok with originally, and most of you guys know that there's a real strong reason for that. It goes all the way back 20 years ago to my spiritual awakening and my really profound experience that I had with spirit. So, hello, Anna. So again, I changed my name on TikTok to Magi Rising, and created a new cool little logo with the rising phoenix in the background, which is strongly symbolic. And the timing of that is for a reason as well, because of everything that I'm embracing right now. Many of you guys know that I've decided to not just use TikTok and other social media platforms as I have in the past, is whenever I have time for them and investing what little bit I have left at the end of the day. I've decided to switch that around now and give myself fully to my calling and into trying to spread the message that I have for the world, which is largely my experience, but also that is guided by intuition, salve for the world, which is largely my experience, but also that is guided by intuition. Sign me, babe, because I will not remember that. Kimberly said, my son had an experience last night that frightened me. I would like to share it if possible. Absolutely, Kimberly. That's why we're here. Fire away, my friend. Hello, Aaron. How are you doing, my friend? So before I get going too much, I want to welcome everybody officially to the Soul Group meeting. For anybody who does not know what I'm talking about, this is a community that we started for anybody and everybody interested in spirituality and spiritual awakening, and whatever that looks like for you. Because we believe that there is no such thing as a cookie cutter pattern or system that everyone follows on their spiritual awakening journey. If there are 8 billion souls incarnated on this planet, then there are 8 billion individual spiritual paths, because they will be as unique as we are. There are certainly similarities between our experiences, but that does not mean what works best for me is going to work best for you or for everybody else. And each of us, as individual fractals of the whole, of the great I Am, we each are given a piece of the puzzle that is our authenticity, our truth. And whenever we share that with the world, we can begin to come together as a community and take those individual pieces of the puzzle and put them together to see the big picture. And that's what we're all about here on the Soul Group. So if any of that interests you, please consider sticking around. And if you'd like to be a part of this community, please introduce yourself if you don't mind, so that we can get to know each other. Aaron's hanging in there. Hello, Beth. bring back philosophy. I'm all about bringing back philosophy. Not a simp. I'm digging the name, my friend. Nice to meet you as well. I am originally from southern Missouri. I currently reside in northwest Arkansas. Hello, Marissa. Thank you for the kind welcome there, Aaron. I appreciate you as always. Kimberly, you can, I guess I should have asked if you would like to type that out in the comments. If that was something you wanted to share with the group. First of all, I did not even ask that. You're talking about your son's experience. I don't know if you want to share that with the community, or if you want to share it with just me personally. I'm all right with whatever you want to do there. Just let me know. Cornell West. It is a group share. Okay, awesome. I will have to look into Cornell West, my friend. Not somebody I know absolutely anything about, but I certainly will look into it. Kimberly, are you wanting to join me up here, or are you just wanting to type out that for the group? I got it in my notes, my friend. Wondering if anyone else has had a similar experience. That's why we're here. I mean, that's the beauty of having a community such as yourself. So, well, go ahead and fire away. We'll see what the group has to say. I'm sure that there are some similar experiences shared out there, so that's usually the norm. But while you're doing that, something that I did want to talk with you guys, with the community about, is one of my favorite topics. You know, I'm always talking about my favorite philosopher, Socrates. And one of my favorite parts of the philosophy that came through Socrates is this idea that we each have a specific function to fulfill that no one else is capable of fulfilling. Hello, honeybee. Welcome in, my friend. Well, I firmly believe that. I believe that you have a specific function to fulfill. Thank you, honeybee. I appreciate that. And if you do not bring that forth and share that gift with the world will be poorer for that. It will never have the benefit of that specific function because nobody else can do it. It is your unique, specific frequency. And we bring that forth, we bring that into existence by embracing our authenticity, which in essence is the same thing as living in harmony with our truth. Hello, Arlena. Thank you for pinning that comment for me, babe. Okay, Kimberly said last night my son had fallen asleep. His girlfriend was in bed on TikTok. He woke up about let's see, waiting patiently for the other half of that. Okay, so you have a specific function. You guys all do that, and I'm sure that most of us are aware of that. Welcome in, Deborah. I just tagged you in a video about your beautiful gift, by the way. About half an hour later, and distinctly heard a voice say to him, "We're coming to get you." Very interesting. Thank you very much, Tanya. I do firmly believe that. This is not just something that I'm talking about to have something to ramble on about. I firmly believe each of us is here for a reason. Each of us is made from the same sea of consciousness, the same energy that animates all life, right? So we're all connected. But we are an individual fractal of the whole, meaning you have a unique, specific flavor of God that nobody else has, cannot be found anywhere else in existence. And if you don't walk the path of your truth and embody your authenticity and bring that to the world, no one else can do that, right? And that's why I am doing what I'm doing here because this is my calling. This is part of it anyway, a big part of it. It's helping me to speak my truth, to share my experiences, to bring you wonderful, beautiful people together and begin the work of putting these pieces of the puzzle together. And I truly desire a spiritual community. And we have grown by leaps and bounds. And we've developed from just a live every once in a while to a true community. And I would love to see that grow. But the other part of this is ideally everybody, all members of our community, would begin to embrace their own authenticity and their truth. And we would help as a community to bring that to the world, whatever that looks like for you guys. See if I missed the rest of that story yet. How did he feel about the experience, negative or positive? Excellent question. That would probably tell a lot. His phone was off and there was no other device on. He was certain it was not a dream. Brock's flavor is sarcasm and humor. Very much needed in the world, my friend. Very much needed. A couple of people asking the same question about how it made him feel. Hello, Crystal Chris. Much love, my friend. So, I'm on board with the questions that are being asked there, Kimberly. That is always for me. That is where I get my information, from the gut, from intuition, from the higher faculties above reason. That's not to say that reason doesn't play a part. Certainly does. It's supposed to work hand in hand in equal tandem with our intuition. But I always default to how an energy makes me feel. He was still shaken at lunch. I have had a similar experience to that personally. I've never really talked about that here because it's a highly personal experience. But it was completely obvious from the interaction that it was a negative entity that was speaking. I actually woke up in the wee hours of the morning. I was dancing somewhere between fully being asleep and being awake. I was right on the edge where I was aware of my surroundings. I was aware of the environment. I was aware of my positioning on the earth, right? I was aware I was laying in the bed. I was aware that my wife was asleep beside me in the bed. And I was aware of another energy that was there as well. And I won't go into the full details of it, but I had a conversation in my consciousness, or spirit rather, had a nonverbal communication and conversation with this entity, and wound up essentially performing a banishing ritual while not fully conscious. And the feeling that I had from this was a complete, it felt like being submerged in icy water, starting from the crown all the way down to my toes. Immediate goosebumps, all of the hair standing on end. Very powerful sensation and feeling, which was completely subsided and gone upon the conclusion of my unconscious banishment of this. But again, that was a slightly different experience than what you're talking about, but similar in many ways. Let's see what I missed here. Hello, Joe. It's awesome to see you again, my friend. Smoky quartz, celestine, citrine, black tourmaline, sage, and palo santo. Yeah, I would definitely be going for some protections, and that's what Aaron is getting at there. Realm sleep. Yeah, certainly. I do believe that's what happened for me personally. Brock says I used to wake up unable to move, and the room was hazy, foggy, and strange. Sleep paralysis. There is some information in the spiritual community that links that to demons. I'm a little on the fence about that. I think that there's probably something there personally, and I'm just going to light a little bit of sage, get a little bit going here, since we're talking about these dark, dense energies. Just clear the energy a little bit here. Yeah, Aaron, that's excellent advice. Verbally command is not allowed anywhere near this space. That intention is paramount. It's absolutely paramount, because what you're doing is you're setting a boundary, an energetic boundary with your intention. And that is probably more important than any of the crystals, any of the sage, any of the many tools and implements that you can help to add layers of protection. Crystals and prayers banished it. I kept checking back to make sure he was still here. So yeah, I think all of that is really excellent advice. But I do think that protections is what you should be looking into, what your son should be looking into. It's better to err on the side of caution. Anybody and everybody, in my personal opinion, should learn protections, right? Because either you believe that we live in a world that is purely materialistic and physical as espoused by science, or you believe that we live in an energetic universe, that the primary nature of that universe is spiritual, and physical is manifested from spirit, right? So it is secondary. And if you believe that, then it stands to reason that you should be well versed in protections. And because not everything in the world is sunshine and rainbows, right? There are negative entities out there. And my personal belief on that is that the vast majority of these things are actually of our own design and our own creation. You can give physical life to thought forms. Have you ever heard "face your inner demons"? That's not just metaphor. If you have negative thought forms of any kind for a prolonged, extended period of time, your fear gives those life, and you literally begin to breathe life into those things. And there are other aspects that go into that, but of course that's not all that exists out there, right? There's a whole slew of things that exist in the unseen. But we have numerous tools at our disposal to help purify and cleanse an area. And primarily, the majority of those protections work by elevating the vibration of a space or your consciousness, or in tandem. Both happen. So that is absolutely the key, no matter what you're talking about, is your vibration, right? Because, of course, these types of entities attach to or attack just about anyone, but their prime targets is somebody who is in a lowered vibrational state. Somebody who has not got their guard up, not got their boundaries in place, not got layer upon layer of protection. And I've missed a whole lot of comments in here. And I said the intention of commanding that entity out works. I had something very similar. It certainly does. I have experience with that personally. I've heard numerous experiences that all correlate with my own, and not to mention the biblical references to these things, right? There's thousands of years of history there. I completely agree with you, Joe. Where there's negative, there's going to be positive, and where there's positive, there's going to be negative. That is the dualistic nature of our reality. And oftentimes for people who are doing spiritual work, that's something that we should all be aware of, that you tend to paint a little bit of a target on your back, because it's a lot like standing in complete darkness and turning on a flashlight or lighting a torch in the darkness. All manner of things will be attracted to that, right? To that energy. Not all of those things good, right? There's positive and there's negative. So just make sure that you guys are being careful with that. Can we also be a protector as well? Absolutely, Jay. His health is excellent. He's a person who's always very positive and very kind. Brock says, when I moved in, there were peripheral beings like sand people in my home. I couldn't sleep. Very interesting. Aaron said, I learned to command my sovereignty at a very young age due to similar experiences. Thank you, Mary, for your follow. I appreciate that. That's exactly what happened to me when I was very little, giving evil power. It is a very real thing. Just be aware of that. Negative energy can attach, and most people have attachments, but you can send them to the light. I'm glad that you mentioned that the way that you did, Kathy, because that's something that not a lot of people talk about in spiritual circles, at least not the ones that I've seen. Whenever you're talking about these things, talking about spiritual protections and shielding and boundaries and all of this and that, you can heal those things, those negative entities, those demons, with love, with compassion, especially your own inner demons, right? That is the natural counterpart, the natural kryptonite, if you will, because those things are born of the lower frequency of vibration. Essentially, you burn those out with light and with love. They cannot maintain or sustain the high frequency vibration because it is against their nature. So you can do those things. Of course, I would recommend that for somebody who has boundaries in place, somebody who is well protected with multiple layers of protection, and most importantly, those with belief, especially in themselves. By trying to hide it and make on like I didn't see it. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm trying to piece together everyone's comments here. Brock says, I couldn't sleep in my own room, saw some things, others saw them too. This was years ago. Negative energy is attracted to fear. It's certainly an attraction there. Guys, I'm way behind on my comments. Bear with me. I'm trying to keep up with you. Crystal Chris, yeah, I completely agree with you on that. We tend to attract the young from our own energy. Yes, Marissa. I probably just already answered your question, but that's essentially what I mean. You elevate that vibration with love. I thought to remove the layers of protection as to spread love. Yin and yang, exactly. The ebb and flow. Everything is dualistic in nature. Kimberly says, I would think he has a very high vibration. I've never known him to put out any negative energy. Again, these things can attach to anybody, right? And it does not have to be a prolonged state either. It really does not have to be. These things can happen being in the wrong place, right? You can go visit somewhere and come back with something. Especially, I mean, depending upon the strength of the energy of that area. You can, and I barely touched on this before, but this is why we should be careful with a lot of different things. Things that people don't really think about. How many of you guys love thrift stores or yard sales, that sort of thing? Be careful buying other people's stuff, inheriting other people's property. wearing clothing that used to be somebody else's, because they have perhaps years of embedding their own energy into those items. And then if they're not properly cleansed, then you bring that into your environment and into your own energy, into your own energetic field. So be careful of those things. These attachments can happen in many different ways. I worry that kindness might make him a target. That is the case for a lot of people, right? Like I said, that light and the darkness tends to paint a target on your back. And it's not necessarily as an attack for the way that it works. It's not. I think a lot of people have this conception that if you're doing God's work or a light worker or whatever, that all of these negative entities are trying to seek you out to destroy you or to fight this proverbial battle between light and darkness and everything. But for me, it's more of a matter of energy, of the ebb and flow, the yin and yang. And just like with opposite polarities of a magnet, there is going to be that attraction. Like if you're in the darkness and you turn on a light, like tons of bugs are going to come, moths are going to come from everywhere, where before they didn't seem to be there. There's just a natural attraction to that. You can focus on the meditation, and when commanding your sovereignty, you can visualize your angels. Yeah, I like that. Absolutely, and I agree with you on that. Thank you, Andy. It raises the balance. Balance doesn't have to be 50-50. Alpha frequencies in the background. Yeah, it's actually 888. Thank you, Brock. I appreciate the hand hearts. Yeah, I had to change my my gift goal for today's live. They took away my trumpets. I don't know why they did that, but I've always loved the trumpets for whatever reason. But they took them away, so I had to find something different for today. His girlfriend is one of the sweetest girls I've ever met, but she became very frightened. What I've learned through hypnosis is that you can get an attachment at any time in life and not know. I firmly believe that, Kathy. I have seen that in my own experience. I've seen it in those that I love and care about. I've seen it in myself. It's very real. It can happen to anybody, and I think that it happens far easier than what most people are aware of. It's very, very possible. Thank you again, Andy. You're too kind, my friend. Kathy says, I refuse to buy a mirror from yard sales or thrift stores. Energy is everywhere, right? Everything is energy, vibrating at different intensities and frequencies. Mercury retrograde. Thank you very much. Everything. Literally everything. And we have an energetic impact on everything around us. Our thoughts are energy. They vibrate. They affect the fabric of the reality around us. So everything, physical items, clothing, books, right? Pretty much anything can have an energy attachments to it. I bought some furniture from someone and it came with grandma. Oh, I love that, Anna. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Wow, he loved yard sales and it's always bringing finds home. I just got a big hit on that, Kimberly. Big hit on that. Do you happen to have maybe, I don't know if you've got any kind of dowsing rods or a pendulum or anything. That is a very simple, easy way to tell the energy of a given object, especially set with that intention. You might want to do some exploration with that, and there are quick, relatively easy and painless ways to cleanse energy of things. But even if you can identify what that is and you cannot cleanse that properly, perhaps it might be time to part with it. And then definitely do a proper cleansing of your space. Thank you for your follow, Karen. I appreciate that. Aaron says, I've always loved antique mirrors, but not in my home. When you're connected, you're protected. You're very welcome, Jay. I appreciate you. Joe says it's our own thoughts that puts us in a prison in our own mind. Exactly. All is mind, truly. Most attachments are lost souls. They feel comfortable in your energy. Kind of like trolls showing up on TikTok, moth to a flame. So true, Andy. Absolutely so true. And I am not immune to that. I've got to tell you guys, it happens all of the time. It happens all of the time. Thoughts on the 417 solfeggio frequencies? I have not done like any serious study on that, but I will say this: I like the way it makes me feel, and I know that that's really basic and simplistic and easy to say, but again, I always defer with my intuition and with my own whatever that is with sensing energy, right? I am a very sensitive empath. I've been that way since childhood, and there's a whole story that goes behind that. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you for the hand hearts, my friend. But for whatever reason, I am incredibly sensitive to energy, and I can tell using that gift of discernment that comes alongside a sensitivity to energy, which is key to empaths. I can tell how an energy is affecting me most times fairly easily and accurately. And that's one of those things that definitely has a good positive effect on me. Very interesting, Andy. An astrologer. Sounds like Pluto is quite active in your chart. Mine is opposite Mercury in the ninth. You are correct, my friend. Pluto is very active. I have quite the cluster in my natal birth chart. Every single heavenly body falls within 60 degrees in my chart. Actually, I think it's just barely over 60 degrees. But I have 4 of the planets in my 7th house. So you can imagine what all that might entail. Anna says, I'm glad we were talking about this. I've seen an attachment on a friend now for 10 years. Ooh. Wow. That's pretty intense. Have you discussed this with your friend by chance, Anna? Just out of curiosity. That is one thing that since we're having this talk and this discussion, and Anna, I know that you know this, but since we're having this discussion, one thing that should be said is that if you ever make an attempt to help somebody, to send energy, to send love, compassion, whatever it is, healing, any of those things, you should always make sure to get verbal permission from them to be open and be receptive to that for whatever it is that you're sending in alignment with their highest good, right? You want to make sure that you stipulate that. It offers another layer of protection, not only for yourself, but for the person that you're attempting to help. And I got way behind on my comments again. Absolutely would do that immediately. Kimberly, I can get you a whole list of things that will help if you would like, or we can talk about that. I mean, since we're on the topic of protections, I think it's a good time to share advice, things that will help with that. I see people and can visit them, plus move them on. Sweetgrass, sage, white candles, prayer, and intention. Bay leaves are also very helpful. One thing that is very helpful is adding layer upon layer upon layer upon layer. Because each one of those acts off of the energy of the others and continues to raise the frequency and raise it and elevate it. One or two layers on their own might not be enough, right? And the more, again, I think it's probably bears repeating to say that the belief, the intention that you have is the most important thing with that. The biggest bale of sage in the world will be utterly useless to you if you have no belief in its ability to do its job. It won't. But at the same time, if you had but the faith of a mustard seed, you could say to that mountain, cast yourself into the sea, and it would be so. That is not a metaphor. It is truth. And that is absolutely paramount, especially with the topic we're discussing. Oh, thank you, Christy. Thank you for the hand hearts, my friend. I would love how you see me. Love to know how you see me. This, by the way, guys, this is going right back to what I was trying to touch on earlier whenever I tried to share my vision of what this community will evolve into. And that is each of us embracing our authenticity and shining our light as individuals, but with the aid and help of each member of this community, right? With the support, with the love, with the backing, with the energy of this community. We strengthen each other. You guys strengthen me tremendously. You raise my energy and my frequency almost immediately when I go live. It's amazing, truly. But I absolutely love the idea of us collectively working on ourselves, embodying our authenticity, and fulfilling our specific function as individuals and coming together as a community. That is a tremendous powerhouse of love and light. Absolutely. And no two of us are the same, right? No two of us have the same energy, frequency, the same gifts. There's a lot of similarities, right? We're on very similar frequencies. But that just means the energy will be more powerful and potent. Saucy Sam, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Andy said, immediately when I showed up here on your live, my palm chakra started buzzing. Interesting, my friend. Are you a healer? Just curious. You don't have to answer that, but that's very interesting. Another artist as well. Interesting. You're most welcome, Kimberly. And thank you for voicing that and being open and vulnerable enough to share that with the community. It is a poltergeist you think that's attached to your friend. That's definitely not good. Some chronic symptoms are attachments. Yeah, exactly. These things manifest physically in our body. Sweetgrass does smell amazing. Yep, energy grids, definitely huge. I'm trying to get caught up, I promise you guys. Belief is important. Yeah, that's absolutely paramount. Absolutely. Haven't tried bay leaves yet, but Santa has my list. I've been nice mostly. So here's something, since we're on the topic of bay leaves, right? You can use those for practically everything. There are so many awesome, helpful uses for them. Bear with me, guys. Getting the sage going again. You can line windows and doorways with them. You can pin them up in the corners of your space, the four corners. What I really like to do is I like to I wear hats all the time because I'm pretty much always outside. Don't know why. Pretty much always been wearing hats. On the inside of my hat, if you flip it upside down, there's a little seam in there that you can flip down. I pack it full of bay leaves. Maybe not pack it full, but I line it with bay leaves. And then when I put my hat on, I have a crown of bay leaves all the way around my head. You can put them in your pocket. You can wear them around with you. You can put them under your pillow. And again, that one is really good at inducing very lucid dreams. So do that one at your own peril. But it is an excellent layer of protection to add to any space, in my opinion. Salt, rosemary. Yeah, I love rosemary. Thyme, white thyme especially. Yes. And many of those things, you can do so much with all of this stuff. One of my favorite things to do is part of your cleansing, right, of removing attachments. Take a ritual cleansing bath. Get a nice Epsom salt blend with some essential oils in it, or mix your own. Whatever feels right to you. There are certain ones that are very positive and uplifting and high vibrational. Peppermint actually is very high vibrational. You don't even have to go spend the money on the essential oils. Go buy some organic peppermint tea leaves and throw 2 or 3 bags of that in a warm bath with Epsom salt. You can sprinkle in some white thyme into that. And they add layer upon layer of protection. And they raise your vibration as you're soaking that in. Pluto moving into Aquarius in January is in alignment with a specific coming together community. Very interesting that you said that, Andy, and I just got truth bumps all over my body. I don't know if you've heard that one yet, but hashtag truth bumps. That is the feeling I get whenever my spirit resonates with something as truth. Some people call it goosebumps. I call it truth bumps. And I definitely felt that one, my friend. Pluto, and I've talked about this a lot, Andy. I've talked about Pluto and Aquarius a lot. It is going to bring tremendous changes to society. Tremendous changes. Not all of it's going to be pretty. But the flip side of that is, as the pendulum swings, it swings back in equal measure. And I firmly feel what you're saying there about this community with the Pluto and Aquarius. Power, transformative energy there. Very powerful. Thank you, Brandy. I appreciate that. Love cedar wood as well, sweet orange. Yes. Here's another really good protection that you can do for very cheap. Get you some protection against Mercury retrograde. Good grief. I can't even think. My brain just like short-circuited on me there, guys. Good grief. It's my favorite. Okay. Earl Grey. That's what I was looking for. My favorite tea. For some reason, Mercury retrograde just kicked me in the head when I tried to talk. Earl Grey tea is excellent. It has black tea is excellent for protection, first of all. The bergamot in it is high vibrational, and it adds a layer of protection. Just by drinking it, you're adding a layer of protection. Conscious group hug. I love that, Andy. Always feel energized and inspired after communicating with this group. That is the beauty of this, my friends. Absolutely. Carmen, my heart goes out to you, my friend. FCLL, fibromyalgia, and lung cancer. Carmen, I would absolutely love to send you some healing, very positive energy, in alignment with your highest good, with nothing nefarious attached to it. If you're open and receptive to that, I would absolutely love to do that. I'm a Gemini Sun, Gemini North Node, and in Mercury. Yeah, you got a lot going on there. My grandmother taught me sprinkle salt and ash and charcoal around her house. Black salt. Absolutely huge, Kelly. For best results, and make your own black salt. Whenever you do that, you mix in the elements of each of those things. The salt. Oh, Noel, thank you for that. Thank you, my friend. Salt is naturally protective, right? It is a natural protection. And then you mix in the power of charcoal. Charcoal has an absorbing effect on energy. And so you mix that with the salt and with ash. You can get creative with that. Add your own flares to it. You can use ash from your favorite incense. That's one of my favorite things to do. You can burn Palo Santo and use the ash from that. That is a huge kickstart there. Cedar wood, any kind of ash works, right? But for added layers of protection, you can use ash from your incense, from whatever it is, from your white sage, right? And you can mix those things together in a pestle until the salt is black, looks black as night, and then sprinkle that around your home, especially around doorways and windows. And not only does it have a very powerful positive vibration, but it absorbs negative energy. Just make sure whenever you do that, after a period of time, you want to clean that up and then bury it with the intention for that energy to be recycled back into Mother Gaia and be transformed, right? You definitely don't want to just leave it laying there to further attach that energy to your space. Andy says, my role is that of an owl perched on a tree observing, then boosting conscious frequencies. I love that. I love it, my friend. Thank you for sharing that. I'm sure you've been painting for a long time by this point, but I hope you have a good evening. Yes, I love rosemary. Rosemary's great. Rosemary is great to hang in your shower. If anybody's never tried that, hang some rosemary from your shower. And just take a real nice hot shower and let that steam go over the rosemary. It's excellent for your brain. It's excellent for your memory. It's excellent for your frequency and vibration. And it's protective. So, off topic, but rosemary and potatoes are amazing. Love that too. Just typing Epsom salt baths and oils. I did that cleansing bath tonight. Awesome. I love Dr. Till's mixes. I found one that was it was an Epsom salt blend with white thyme and might have even been bergamot. I don't remember exactly. But then I threw in a couple of peppermint tea leaf bags, and it's absolutely huge. Listen to some good frequencies when you soak in that bath under the candlelight. Perfect. Top notch. Brandy said I'm deaf adding truth bums to my vernacular. Well, thank you, my friend. I love it. I felt all of the tension leave my body. That is a good sign, my friend. Good sign. Love Earl Grey. Yeah, it's my favorite. Definitely my favorite tea. Jay says it takes more energy and strength for me to meditate and focus than going to the gym. I appreciate the insight. You're very welcome, my friend. Joe says herbs are very important. Fresh vegetables, uncooked, helps inside and out. Very true. We talk about raising your frequency and your vibration quite a bit in here. That is as good of a thing as you can do for protection, is to raise your frequency, raise your vibration. And one of the absolute best ways to do that is with the food. Let food be your medicine and let your medicine be your food. The higher vibrational foods that you can eat, the more that your body and your energy field is going to benefit from that, right? So the more things you can eat that turn light into food, the more you will boost your frequency. So definitely fresh fruits and vegetables. Some of those have a naturally higher frequency than others, but that is a good rule of thumb. Maybe we can all pray with Carmen together. I certainly welcome that for anybody who is open to it. Is Palo Santo protective or just cleansing? Throat chakra taking a hit tonight. Christy, Palo Santo, the beauty of it is that it both repels and clears negativity from a space while attracting positive energy at the same time. So it doesn't just clear a space of negativity, it calls in light, it calls in high vibrations. It has a double whammy effect. Always mix incense ash with mine. Yeah, that's the way I do it too. Absolutely, Aaron. Thank you for sharing that. New moons are perfect for protection and making black salt. Dragon's breath. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. Slay. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I don't know if that's Slay or Slay. But either way, I absolutely will, my friend. If you were open and receptive to that, I would absolutely love to do that. Ditto on the eucalyptus for sure. Good evening, Desiree from FYP. I'm glad that I came across your For You page. Welcome in, my friend. She is snuggled with the kitten's healing, but I worry. One of the best things that you can do, my friend, for your daughter is send her healing energy with your thoughts, knowing that she is healing. Thank the universe for her healing. Thank God for her healing, for her getting that boost from the universe. I am so glad that I did as well, Desiree. For anybody who is new in here and did not catch this earlier, I go live every weekday, with a few exceptions, at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And the main Soul Group Live is on Saturdays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And it's both. Okay, well, I love it either way. It's my real initial and name. Yeah, I would just go with Slay. That sounds, you're going to slay it. Aaron just bought a new deodorant. It's Palo Santo and frankincense. Wow. Yeah, that sounds amazing. Oh, really? Wow. Okay, guys, I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to take a moment to send out some healing intention and love and light to the couple of group members here, the couple of our new friends who have asked for it. And I invite anybody who is open to doing that to do so. But please set the intention that it is only what is in alignment for their best and highest good, with nothing nefarious attached. Thank you, Brock. I appreciate that. Okay. Thank you for all of you who joined in on that, and thank you for bearing with me. TikTok was hell. I was wasting my time until now. I am absolutely thrilled that you found your way to this community. And that goes for any and all of you guys who have found your way here, especially the new ones. This, I firmly believe, this is the absolute best community on the internet today. I might be a little biased, right? I might be a little opinionated, but I do believe we have absolutely the best community out there. Everyone is so full of love and compassion, and energy and desires to change the world for the better, to raise the frequency of the collective, to heal the world and help balance it. Thank you, Andy. I appreciate those roses, my friend. Just a bit biased. It's just a little bit. I mean, that's perfectly natural, but hey, I think we are absolutely the best. We are the best, Kelly, but thank you. Amazing group of love and support and knowledge. Always feel better. Ditto on that. I know that several of you guys say that to me all the time, and you give thanks to me and everything as if this is something that I do. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you for the hand hearts, my friend. But this is not me. This is us. This is us coming together. And your guys' energy is so loving and compassionate. I am absorbing that and reflecting it back out into the collective. And you might be perceiving this as coming from me, but no. This is a truly beautiful thing that is us as a collective. Truth Tribe says, I'm new to TikTok, but I love it. Well, we certainly love having you here, my friend. And I love the name. I don't know if I told you that before when you were in here, but I love that. My God is doing the shaking dance right now. I love it. Desiree says, I'm looking forward to getting to know the group and being able to be a part of it. We are certainly looking forward to that as well. Thank Daisy for sharing you with us. Well, I will make sure and share that gratitude with her. Thank you, Brandy. I appreciate your support, my friend. Feeling joy now, bliss frequencies. Yeah, that is that is the energy I'm absorbing and reflecting back to you guys. That is it. You make it possible. Go ahead, blush. Yes, I'm blushing. Well, thank you guys. Again, as always, thank you guys for giving me this opportunity to fulfill my calling. That is my highest desire, is to bring forth what is in me and serve however I might through living out my calling. And you guys give me the ability to do that by being here with your time and your energy and attention, because I would not be here without you guys. It would be pretty boring. It would just be me talking to my phone. I've tried that before. It's not very fulfilling at all. We should do this every time. I agree with you on that, Arlena. I would absolutely love that. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention, for anybody that is new in here or anyone who is not a part of this and would like to be, if you wish to be more involved with our soul group, with the community, we have the ability to do that outside of TikTok. We have a platform on the Telegram app just for that. It is called the Inner Circle Group. It costs nothing to participate in that. But for anybody who would like to be a part of that, we would absolutely love to have you on board. It gives us the ability to connect with each other 24/7, individually as well as to address the entire group, to talk back and forth with each other, not just in messaging. You can do voice messaging. You can share pictures. You can share videos. You can share hyperlinks from the internet, entire PDF files, so digital books, whatever it is. which is huge because I don't have the ability to do that with you guys. I don't have the ability to do that with you guys here on TikTok. Bridge access activated. Love it, my friend. We appreciate you. There's a tip jar if anyone feels so inclined. You won't. Thank you, Brock. I do appreciate that. So, before I forget, if anybody wants to be a part of that Telegram Inner Circle group, and I hope that some of you do, what you'll need to do is download Telegram first and set it up on your phone, unless you already have done so. If you already have it, great. But once you've got that set up and downloaded, if you go to my profile here on TikTok, which you can just click up here on my face, and then go to my profile page, there's a link in my bio that says Linktree, and there's a whole slew of links on there. There is a Facebook group. There is a YouTube group, which I've just recently started uploading replays from these live soul group meetings. There is a tip jar, as Brock mentioned, for any of you guys who wish to support me, and I do thank you very kindly for that. And I think the second link, if I'm not mistaken, is the Inner Circle Warrior of Light group on Telegram. But once you have Telegram set up, just click that link and it will add you to the group. If you have any problems with that, let me know and I will add you to the group manually. Sometimes the link doesn't like working for whatever reason. That thing goes 1,000,000 miles per hour, thanks to Aaron. We communicate a lot on there. Just know you can change any of those settings in that app. If it's going off too frequently for you guys, and if it's like too much, you don't want your phone dinging every 5 seconds or whatever, you can silence those notifications within the app, and it makes it a lot better. And then you can just go and look at it whenever you want to. Yes, on Telegram, Andy, and we would absolutely love to have you in there. We would love to have you, Desiree. That would be awesome. Looking up 24/7. Awesome. I'm so excited to have you guys be a part of that. Just took a pic of the Great Herb Protection List. Thank you so much for doing that, Aaron. I can't ever open the Facebook link. Was that after I fixed them, Arlena? I know there was an issue with YouTube. But I got that one fixed, and I think the Facebook one is fixed now too. But guys, please, if you go to that link tree, and any of those links aren't working for you, please send me a message and let me know. Thank you, Kim, because I definitely want you guys to be a part of any and all of that you would like to be, for sure. Thank you, Brock. Couldn't use Telegram link. Okay, you do already have Telegram set up and ready to go. Send me a DM if you don't mind. Anybody, that goes for anybody who's having issues with the links. Please send me a message and I will figure it out. I will fix the link, or I will figure out how to add you manually. Whatever needs to happen. Deborah said, kind, caring, loving, beautiful, or more time to get to know you. It's so awesome. My message just got deleted. It was probably Truth Tribe. For whatever reason, sometimes TikTok has an auto filter that I cannot turn off on the comments. I'm not sure why it does that. It doesn't make any sense which comments get deleted. Excellent idea, Aaron. Thank you for that. It was after. Okay. Sorry about your comment, Truth Tribe. It was not intentional. My apologies. Arlena, I will get on that, and I will send you a link that works, please. Just bear with me. It might take me a little bit of time to get that to you. Thank you for being so welcoming, Deborah. I love it. 888 frequencies confirmed. Kelly said, and don't forget to do Brian's Amazon wish list for Christmas. Thank you so much for that, Kelly. Kelly, by the way, guys, I want to shout her praises very briefly here. She has been very giving and generous with her blessings, and has sent me numerous gifts that are absolutely amazing and wonderful. And I intend to make another video of those because I got some more after. I did not know that you sent so much stuff to me, my friend, but thank you so much for that. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate the gummy bears. But I absolutely love the tuning forks. I'm so excited to get to play around with those. I've wanted those forever. And thank you so much for that. Very, very grateful, my friend. Already have the telegram. Okay. Please, guys, those of you who I've talked to and said you're having an issue, send me a direct message, and that way I've got like a checklist, and I can go fix them one at a time. No worries, Desiree. Hope you have a fantastic night. Andy said, I value it highly and recommend Mystic Rebels for astrology on TikTok. Arlena, I actually did update some of my Amazon wish list. I didn't spend a whole lot of time on it, but I did update some of it. Hello, Empress Ivy. It's good to see you, my friend. I've been busy today with developing stuff and getting things going, trying to update lists and fix broken links. And I created the new, I changed the name here on TikTok for anybody who missed that. I am no longer going by the Magic Shop or Think for Yourself Question Authority. I'm going back to my roots as I move into this new chapter of my life. So I've changed the name to Magi Rising. And I've created a fantastic logo, in my humble opinion, of the Phoenix. And seeing as how my moon sign is in Scorpio and the Phoenix is the highest vibration of Scorpio, I feel that it's very fitting, as that is in many ways the story of my life. So, did you update your Amazon list? Yes, I updated that. I did not open a Cash App thing yet, or I have that set up. I do not have the link for that yet. But there is the tip jar. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you so much for the hand hearts, my friend. I do have the tip jar set up on my link tree, and that really is the best way at this point for anybody who wants to bless me in whatever way you feel like doing that, because it does not charge me, right? There's a very small fee for a transaction. Pretty much all of the other stuff that you use on TikTok takes a pretty big chunk out of it for their cut. And that's why I like using that tip jar. I like the little emotes there, Kelly. Feeling so inspired. I love that. Did Daisy get hers? Kelly, I was going to ask you about that. I got a shirt. A wonderful, beautiful shirt. I'm not sure who that one was from. The other stuff that I got had a gift receipt in it that just shows the item number or whatever, and then it says a gift from, and they all said from Kelly, but the shirt did not have a receipt or anything in it or tell me who it was from, so I have absolutely no idea who got this shirt for me, but I want to show you guys because I love it. I should have put it on. Hang on a minute. I'm going to flip my video around. Can you guys read that? I love it. I'm not sure who sent that. Kelly, if that was you or if it was somebody else, but thank you, whoever done that. I've seen it. It looks great. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. But I have Cash App. No worries, my friend. Like I said, I do have Cash App. It's as simple as me actually taking the time to set the link up on my link tree, but I can certainly do that. I know about the tip jar, but I get in my head about what's too little or too. I I understand, Arlena, but I really, the main reason why I don't like talking about this stuff, and I don't mention it very often, is because I don't want anybody to feel like that they need to do that, or that to feel compelled or obligated or anything like that. You guys are a blessing in my life, period. You guys are truly a blessing to me. So you don't need to send me anything, right? You could send me a dime and I would be riveted. Like, I'm already riveted that you're here and that you're a part of this wonderful community. So please don't feel obligated to do that. CA has no fee and you can transfer direct. Okay, awesome. Thank you for that. The shirt is mine. Okay, so I guess it was from you. Yeah, I love the shirt. I really should have put it on for tonight's live. I didn't even think about it, but I should have. And so you. Well, thank you, my friend. I love it. Love what it says. Exactly. Andy333 is my number. Daisies might come in tomorrow. Well, thank you so much, Kelly. I cannot show you enough gratitude for all of those blessings. Self-promote, my dear. I need to work on that. I love that you guys express your appreciation. I love that. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love it. But I have issues, okay? I have issues. One of my things, and most of you guys know this, one of my things is, and has been for the majority of my life, is that I don't feel worthy. I have issues surrounding my own self-worth. I have been working on healing that aspect of my shadow for about 6 months now, and I've grown by long strides. I've come a long way. But it still rears its ugly head every once in a while. And this is one of those things. I am no good at receiving gifts. I am no good at receiving praise. I'm no good at receiving attention. Like, I'm getting better at that. But you guys will have to be patient with me. We know we aren't obligated, but we appreciate everything you do. Well, thank you for that, Empress. Thank you, Kelly. You guys are so awesome. Just let me do Cash App. Okay, my friend, I will. I know me and you are of the same mind about money. No worries. I am awkward. I am an awkward, uncomfortable individual sometimes, so. 333 also connected to the Ascended Masters. Are you aware of the Mayan galactic signatures yet? No, my friend, I cannot say that I am, but I am definitely writing that down. And thank you. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. This is why I always have a notepad with me whenever I go live. You guys are so full of awesome, useful information. Well, get good at it because you deserve everything. You guys are too awesome. Making you face issues, all from a good place, though. Yes, you guys are absolutely fantastic. But I completely understand them the same way, and I get nervous for you. Oh, Deborah, you're too kind, my friend. Don't get nervous for me. I get nervous plenty on my own. I can do it all by myself. Don't let me make you guys nervous too. Do you know where Chiron is in your chart? It's connected to that wound with money. I do. It's in my 12th house. I know I should have the whole thing memorized. Pretty sure it's in my 12th house. Um, Pisces. Pretty sure. We appreciate you. It takes time to learn to receive. Well, thank you, Anna. I truly am working on it, and I appreciate your guys' patience as I struggle through my awkwardness. Mayan Galactic Signature Calculator. You feel everything and can't help it. I know exactly what you're talking about, Deborah. Trust me, I know. I am bad about that. I get embarrassed for other people. I get nervous for other people. I get happy for other people. I get sad for other people. Because I feel their energy and then I experience it as if it were my own. But I am a lot better at drawing those boundaries now, because once I caught on to that's what was happening, and then I was able to trace that energy back to its source, then I could recognize it as coming from outside of myself, which is a natural boundary. Just that realization that it is coming from outside of self. Once you consciously have that, then you can begin to build a boundary with that. That's not to say that you have to build walls and wall up around yourself and build a moat and never let anything in, but you can do so selectively. I've yet to master that part, but I have successfully been able to close those things off and build boundaries to an extent. Again, a lot of lessons this year for me. It's exactly how I felt Anna. He does all the heavy lifting. You guys are too awesome. My Venus retrograde is conjunct South Node in my 9th opposite Pluto. Makes making money very difficult. I could definitely see that. If you don't mind me asking, my friend, where's your North Node? The curse of the empath, the blessing of the empath. That is the way that I am beginning to understand and see these things, Beth. I truly believe that being an empath is a tremendous blessing. Once you understand it, and once you understand how to use it appropriately. Before then, unfortunately, it makes you a very big welcome mat for other people to clean their feet on. And you feel everything. And so it can be it can be a rocky road. It can be very tough and very difficult. But you learn how to read people. You learn so much more than body language. You learn how to read energy. You develop such an acute sensitivity to energy that you can recognize it all around you. And that paves the way for the creation of a healer, for somebody trained and versed in energy healing and balancing an unbalanced situation. That's what an empath is. That's what our blessing truly is the ability to connect with others and to help them heal. But it can be a curse if we allow it to be, and before we learn how to use that part of ourselves. Power in the word, speak it as you would have it be. I love that. Especially for narcissists. Absolutely, Empress. The connection there between the narcissist and the empath is undeniable and very tragic. I had an Arcturian talk to me the other night about communication with them. North Node Libra, 3rd house conjunct. Wow. Very, very interesting. I am a North Node Gemini in the 2nd house. Noel says, it's funny you say that. I've been reading energy all my life, not knowing what it was. Awesome. They usually don't reveal themselves unless there's a collective. That's why I learned to read people, but something happened. I closed that gate somehow. Like entirely? Very interesting. I've heard of people doing that. I've heard of that. I don't have experience with that, so I'm afraid I can't help you there too much. Repeating numbers or messages just the same as animals are. Oh, certainly. Because it can be so painful. Yeah, it absolutely can be and usually is, especially depending upon your environment. I still have empathy, I'm just very detached now. So is that I'm very interested about that, Arlena. Just for my own curiosity. How exactly does that work? As far as you still have the sensitivity to energy. Do you still physically experience other people's energy, other people's emotions specifically? A few of my messages got deleted. Didn't you said that earlier too, didn't you? I wonder why it is doing that. Your speaker went funky. I'm not sure what happened there. Is it better? Chakra. That makes sense, Andy. I can totally see that. Reminds me of the Aquarius frequencies. We have a lot of Aquarian energy. Can still hear the music, it's just louder. Well, I can turn it down a little bit. I'm not sure what happened. it might just be me moving something around or something. I don't know. Very interesting though. I think it's due to trauma. I don't know how it happened. I still feel people and read them. Interesting. It's like we're on speaker. Huh. I'm not sure. I don't have my Bluetooth or anything on. It's not on speakerphone. I don't know what happened. They're boosting your message. No echo though. Maybe that's it. Maybe they're boosting the message. That would be awesome. Especially when they're trying to hide something good or bad. That is also interesting. That feels almost unique to me. Do you think it's the emotional energy that does that? When you say, especially when they're trying to hide something good or bad. I mean, I feel that too. I certainly do. I've had numerous experiences where a person is being dishonest or distrustful or mischievous in whatever manner. They're being deceptive. And I sense that. I feel it regardless of what my conscious mind is telling me, regardless of what my rational mind is telling me, and regardless of what the other person is telling me. It's like a flashing neon light. It's like, hey, pay attention. Something's not right here. But I don't know if I'd say that it's especially whenever they do that. It's definitely pretty loud and pronounced. I almost wonder if it has something to do with the energy of their emotion with that. Someone's listening in. Very possible, you never know. Might be Mercury retrograde. Go out of the live and return it. Yeah, that might help. If anyone here knows a really good shaman, please let me know. I'm afraid I'm not much help to you on that, Anna. I didn't ignore your comment earlier and your appeal. I don't know that I'm in a place that I could, unfortunately, be of help with that. But I might know somebody who could help you. This is something you should probably scope out this person and feel them out and use your discernment on that, because I know that you have very strong discernment. But are you familiar with Paige Hook? Let me know if you are. I think that she might possibly be of some assistance to you. Yes, it's her gift. What frequency is the music? It's 888. They're boosting the message for sure. I think it's because I've tuned into the truth frequently. I am like a lie detector. Interesting. I like that though. Thank you, Kim, for sharing the live. Yes, Paige was mentioned. Did you guys mention Paige before I did? I seen that you guys mentioned her 2 or 3 times in the comments after I was talking about it, and scrolled down, and I didn't know if you were repeating what I said, or if you guys said Paige and then I thought of her. Either way, it's really interesting. I'm hearing the feedback now. Hello, John. Thank you, my friend. Anna, I do strongly encourage you to check her out, and I would use your spiritual discernment with that and see what kind of an answer, what kind of response you get. But that is her specialty. That is what she specializes in, and she takes her job and her role and her calling very seriously. Another synchronicity with Paige name, and I am getting a pretty big hit on that, Anna. I'm definitely feeling spirit move within me as I'm sitting here talking about Paige in relation to this issue. So I definitely encourage you to look her up. Brock, that is excellent advice, and that applies to everyone in all situations, including this live. No matter where you choose to go or who you choose to go to, remember there is an exchange of energy. Absolutely. There's another lady shaman that I like. I'll find the name for you. Thank you, Arlene. I appreciate your help. And I know that Anna does too. All right. So, do you guys have any final topics that you want to discuss before we close out this live for tonight? I've got a few more minutes in me before I finish this. Yeah, she does have a lot of fake accounts. If the owl totem resonates, Blue Deer is an amazing shaman in Boulder, Colorado. Awesome. Thank you, Andy. I really appreciate your guys' willingness to speak up and help out a fellow member. Does meditation help with repeating negative thoughts? Excellent question, my friend. And yes, meditation helps with every single thing. Yes, topic, how you are feeling with the heart. Okay, let me try to get both of those in there. 100% better. Let's say that. Since I moved towards my calling and embracing this 100%, I'm still not doing that, right? I'm still transitioning out of trading my time for money in the day-to-day grind of working for the state, but I'm transitioning out of that. And once I made that energetic decision to move in that direction, I have not had any issues anymore. So thank you for your concern, Brock. I appreciate that. As for the question, does meditation help with repeating negative thoughts? Meditation absolutely helps. It makes pretty much every situation better. But here's the way that repeating negative thoughts work. We have a function of our brain that is known as neuroplasticity. It is forever evolving. Our brain is very efficient. The first time that you think a thought, a new thought, first time you've ever thought it, it is very difficult for your brain to do so because there's no close proximity of neurons firing together on similar bandwidths. So that has to form new connections and create new synapses. And that process is difficult, right? Your brain struggles with that, which is why trying something new, we tend to, push back against sometimes. The first time you think a thought for the first time, it's like carving your way through a very dense jungle, right? And then the person falling behind you, they don't have to work as hard because you've carved that path. The more people who walk that path, the more well-trodden that path becomes. It becomes wider, it becomes clearer, it becomes deeper, and eventually it begins to form a rut, right? That's how your thoughts work. And so the more you think a certain thought, be it a positive or negative thought, the more those neurons wire together. It begins to create a rut in your brain, a physical rut. It changes the physical landscape of your brain by these neurons firing together. It creates like an information superhighway. And then it becomes easier and easier and easier with every repetition. So if you're not careful, you can fall into this habit of having cyclical negative thoughts. And then they begin to flow so easily, they happen automatically, without us being aware of it. They can even slip into the background because of our reticular activating system within our brain. The function of the reticular activating system is to decide what is worthy of your conscious attention and what is not. Because your brain takes in billions of bits of information every second, tons of information, far more than your conscious mind can possibly be able to accept and rationalize. Thank you, Andy. I appreciate the roses. So your brain has to decide what's important and what's not. And then it filters out about 95% of that so that you can function. Because if not, it would be debilitating. And so what happens is if your brain is confronted with something over and over and over and over again, and you're not reacting to it, you're not doing anything to change the circumstances, then your reticular activating system says, this must not be important, so we're going to filter that out of awareness. And that can happen with negative thoughts. And then before you know it, you're having negative thoughts go on in the background hundreds or even thousands of times a day without you even being aware of it. And then it can be very difficult to stop that process. And the best advice that I have for you is to begin with meditation, because meditation can help you to slow the torrent of your mind. The thoughts in your mind are an awful lot like a stream of thought, just like a river. And you can begin to control and direct the flow of that water. You can slow it down. Meditation slows the water down to the point to where eventually the water is still. And then what happens whenever you stand over a still pool of water, especially if it's clear? It reflects from the surface of the water. There is a reflection of what is going on around it. That is the power of meditation. You can still your mind, and then you can see the reflection of your subconsciousness and your higher self. That is the goal with meditation. But just the act of practicing that slows the torrential flow of the stream of consciousness, and that can help you get a handle on this. And then if you're really struggling with this and you're serious about overcoming the negative thoughts, get a notebook and carry it with you everywhere you go. And I know this sounds crazy and it will look crazy, but be crazy, right? If you want this to work, get a little notepad, one of the little 30-cent flip up pads that you can get at just about any store. Carry it around in your pocket, and anytime you catch yourself with a negative thought, every single time, write that thought down. The more you pull that into your conscious awareness, the more your reticular activating system says, no, hang on, maybe this is important. Maybe we should pay attention to this. Then you can become really aware of the way you're thinking. And then once you do that, every time you write that thought down, let's say your thought is, life is difficult. Life is meant to be difficult. I am meant to struggle through life, or whatever it is. It's different for everybody, right? Take that thought after you've written it down and then replace it with a powerful affirmative thought. Replace it. Replace it in your mind. Then the third step for completely removing these from, not completely removing negative thought, because it's polarity and balance. We all have them. To correct the imbalance, right? To turn the tide in your favor. Once you've brought these up into your conscious awareness so you're fully aware of them, once you've began to replace them with powerful affirmative thoughts, then pay really close attention to every time a negative thought starts to crop up. And as soon as you catch yourself moving onto that frequency, I need you to stop. That's when visualize in your mind a stop sign, a literal stop sign. See it as clearly as you possibly can. What I like to do is I mentally run into that stop sign. It smacks me in the face, stops me dead in my tracks, and then I say, no, hang on a minute, and then I shift the energy. Then I begin to intentionally manifest positivity. And that is a very, very powerful practice, and it will work wonders. But as with all things, you will get out of it what you put into it. And it does require a lot of effort and a lot of work. Because the first time you begin to do anything, it is difficult. But the more and more you do it, the easier it will become. And that's the good news. Because eventually, replacing those negative thoughts with positive affirmative thoughts will eventually become so automatic that your reticular activating system will say, well, this is no longer important. We're going to move this to the background. And then you will habitually and automatically replace negative thoughts with positive affirmative thoughts. That's huge. Now I'm going to try to catch up. I got way, way behind. Concerned about you not being nosy. Oh, I don't think you're being nosy at all, my friend. I think it's beautiful that you would even think to ask. But thank you, my friend. I am doing much better. Are there drum circles in your Telegram group? Just felt the woodpecker frequency. Very, very interesting, Andy. No, they're not. But earlier today, I had that thought. Not only did I have that thought, I visualized it. I visualized a tribal drum circle and me participating in that. There's something synchronistic about that. Very interesting. There are no coincidences. There are synchronicities. Oh, thank you for that, Andy. You're too kind, my friend. He articulates so well. Thank you, Brock. I do not claim. I do not claim that for myself. Occasionally, whenever I allow my consciousness to relax enough to connect with my intuition, I enter into a flow state and then I speak intuitively. Whenever that happens, it's obvious. Things change. The energy changes. I stop rambling. I stop stumbling over my words as much. And what comes forth is a natural flow of consciousness that is rooted in my higher self. And although I do have a pretty eclectic knowledge because I like to read a lot, I always have, sometimes these things come from somewhere else, from my higher self, and I'm tapping into that. And that, I'm pretty sure, is what just happened, not just my ability to articulate so much. But I do appreciate you. I appreciate the compliment. You're very welcome, Kathy. Do it till it becomes familiar. Through theta frequencies while asleep with the recorder app, one can reprogram the subconsciousness. Neurolinguistic programming is absolutely huge. And the Wim Hof breath work. Breath work in general. I didn't really touch on that too much because to me that's part of meditation. That's something else I will absolutely stress there is do not get hung up on traditional meditation because all of our minds work differently, right? What works great for a yogi in Eastern civilization who's never lived in the West and never been a part of the daily grind here in our civilization might not work well for you, right? It might work great, but it didn't for me. And so I had to experiment with different forms of meditation until I found something that would work and help calm my overactive mind. And for me, moving meditation works the best. That's why I would go on prayer/meditation walks in nature. And I would ground myself, and I would, instead of just walking and getting lost in my thought, I would stop paying attention to my thoughts, stop feeding them energy, and just observe them as they flow. And then I would become the observer. Thank you, Brock. Thank you for the hand hearts. Observing not only my thoughts, but the physical environment around me in as much detail as I possibly could. I would hear the gravel crunch underneath my feet. I would feel the way the tiny hairs on the side of my ear moved if there's a tiny breeze. The smell of pine needles as I walked down this path. Every sensory little bit of information I could possibly latch onto, I observed it. But I didn't focus on it. I just noticed it, I observed it, and I let it go. And then continued just reaching out with my consciousness, observing. And eventually, that trains you to slow the torrent of your thought, the same way as a traditional meditation does. But there's many, many, many different forms of meditation. Try multiple things until you find one that works for you. Truth Tribe, I love that. Jesus says, take every thought captive. Jesus focused so much of his ministry on the importance of our mind and the importance of our thoughts. And far too few people realize the power that he brought to the world with that. In fact, Most mainstream Christians are completely unaware of what the true teaching of Yeshua really was. A whole lot of power, a whole lot of truth. I love this new information. NLP for the win, absolutely. I'm glad you got to spend time with us too, Empress. He's clairvoyant for sure. Bliss frequencies now. Awesome. It happened on the 1212 portal. That was a very awesome live, by the way, Aaron. And that's also part of the reason why I mentioned each of us individually stepping into our own authenticity and bringing forth what is in us to the world, shining our own light out there. I would love each and every one of us to do that, whatever that is. And I am here to support each and every one of you. And however I can do that for you guys to bring forth your own frequency of truth. Because that's what we need. That's what the world needs. And then we can put these pieces of the puzzle together. And Aaron, I know for you, that's what it is. You might not have found exactly the specifics of it yet, but I'm certain of it. Becoming the observer is super important. Your eyes remind me of Jim Carrey now. The deep wisdom in his eyes is a twin frequency to yours. Well, thank you, my friend. As a Jim entered the live. Wow. That is awesome. What's really amusing is just, was it Tuesday night? Yes, on 1212, the 1212 portal. We talked about Jim Carrey, which was the first and only time I've ever talked about Jim Carrey on the live, I think. Very interesting. Just saw Jimmy enter. Love it. Kim even mentioned that. Yeah, he just talked about Jim Carrey. Many of us are now shifting into the purple ray. I think there is going to be a massive jump towards that. I didn't get to talk much about this on the last live because I was focused more on manifestation and the importance of that, especially with moving through the 1212 portal. That energy is still here. It is still upon us, by the way. But there is an energetic bridge connecting the new earth with the 3D through that 1212 portal, and a bridge connecting us to the new spiritual and energetic evolution of the 12 chakra system. And we have but to tap into that through setting the intention, stepping into our authenticity, and embodying that energy. And I think a lot of people are doing that right now. Many of whom are doing that intuitively without even having the knowledge of that bridge. It's just simply intuitive, right? But we're moving into the energy of the age of Aquarius. We have been for over 100 years. But now with Pluto entering into Aquarius, once it fully stations direct in Aquarius, everything is going to change. Everything. And that's one of the many things that is going to change is the further cementing the energy of Aquarius in society. These things will no longer be fringe topics, right? We are the new it. That's what's coming. 989 bridge access activated. Shout out to Tesla. Time to put it out there and see what transpires. It very much is for you, Aaron. All I know is that I have become a better version of myself by being in this group of amazing people. That is one of the absolute highest compliments I think that I've ever received, Beth. And I know that it is not me. It is the group. It is the collective, the energy, the way that we feed off of each other, the way that we raise our frequency and vibration. It's absolutely astounding. But that means this group, this community, is doing what it's designed to do. And Prague says, I feel the same way. You guys are awesome. We are feeling something tonight. Absolutely. Hello, Snow Leopard. The Arcturian guides have started showing me ever since headaches. Aaron, I would make sure that you're getting plenty of sodium in your diet, especially natural sodium. Sodium is necessary for the transfer of energy between synapses, for energetic connection between neurons, between the nerves and the muscles of the body. And during all of these light codes, all of these activations and spiritual and energetic evolutions, there's a lot of symptoms associated with that, and I think a lot of it is tied to sodium. And so I got a big intuitive download on that 2 or 3 days ago. I have suffered from chronic headaches for a while now, and I think that is the answer as to why. So, but hope about them Leos, am I right? Leo is my polar opposite, but I love Leos, absolutely love them. We have roughly 120 years before the age of Aquarius fully manifests, in my opinion. Andy, that's something I've talked about quite a bit. I personally don't think I'm one of those people, and I am not a professional astrologer, right? I am an amateur at best. But I personally believe, and I think it's obvious if you know anything about astrology, even with minor transits, it's never just the energy at the moment that happens. There's a window prior to the transit, during the transit, and then after the transit. Depending on what it is, the strength of the energy, and other factors, it can last for quite some period of time. When you're talking about cycles on the grand scale, such as ages, or the completion of the great year, such as we're experiencing, I think it's perfectly rational to expect that transition of energies and the intermixing and mingling of the energies to take a period of time upwards of 200 to 300 years. Certainly more than the span of a human lifetime, in my opinion. And I firmly believe that the first harbingers of the age of Aquarius began over 100 years ago with people like Nikola Tesla and Edgar Cayce, and I always forget the other ones. There's tons of them. There's at least 4 or 5 that were absolutely huge. Manly Palmer Hall, Blavatsky, honestly, in my opinion. The list goes on and on and on, but I believe that they were front runners. They were here to inject that vibration into the collective consciousness. And we are seeing more and more of that. The age of technology is upon us. We've went from horse-drawn carriages and candlelight to the electrical age, to nanotechnology, to rocket science, and everyone carrying around a supercomputer in their back pocket in the span of a human lifetime. That is the age of Aquarius. That's technology, innovation, electricity, all of those things. So I think that we're definitely experiencing the age of Aquarius. But as far as when we're fully embodied in it, and the age of Pisces is away from us, we're no longer feeling that. Society is no longer based upon those structures. I think you're probably right. But I think with Pluto entering into Aquarius, I think that things will begin to shift in a very profound and powerful way. Aquarius is doing what now? I probably just answered that. I have hope for the Leos in my life. Leo ascending. Love it. Hello, Anna. It's awesome to see you. Sea salt. Yeah. And of course, with all things, it's not all created equally. Any of the non-processed stuff, personally, I like the Himalayan sea salt or Celtic sea salt. Celtic is probably my favorite. And Arlena just said that. Truth Tribe, another Leo in the house. Gasp, we are the opposite. But Leos are the center of the universe. It's like, to me, two sides of the same coin. That's what I mean whenever I say opposite. I don't mean that all of your characteristics and attributes are the opposite of mine. I mean that the polarity is opposite. It's the same coin. In many ways, Aquarius and Leo are very similar. But the opposite side of that coin. You got me on the Mayan stuff. Now I won't sleep all night. Ooh, a rabbit hole. I'm so excited. Says a true Leo. What time did your live start? Aw. Sorry you missed it. About 6 o'clock. I've actually been on here over 2 hours tonight. Calling all Leo. Let's go. Oh, you guys are awesome. I agree 100%. I kind of assumed that you would. But I know that not everyone sees it that way. There are people who will argue to the death that there is a very specific date, that once it's hit, or already has hit, that we are in the energy of Aquarius and Pisces is long gone. But that's not reality the way that I see it. I mean, it's obvious. Even if you look at a small transit like something like the full moon, you feel it before the full moon, you feel it strongest during the full moon at its exact position, and then you feel it for days after the full moon, and then you're dealing with the energies of that full moon for 2 weeks up until the new moon. Ascended Masters for sure. But trying to keep him on. You guys are doing a great job at that, by the way. This just got really interesting. You got me talking about the age of Aquarius. I'm a red overtoned dragon. Aries ascending like Brian. Yep. Thank you for your compliment, Andy. I appreciate you. Libra Sun, Leo Moon, Aries ascending. I like how the dynamic of this group has evolved over time. I've been doing this for quite some time now. And originally, whenever I first started going live and first started gathering this beautiful collection together of my peeps, the energy was decidedly Aquarian. A whole lot of profound Aquarius placements. And then it has kind of evolved. There's been like a shift. There's also a very strong element of Aries in there. And Scorpio. Like, I've seen a whole lot of that. And now we're moving into like this Leo season with the community. Like, I would like to start tracking that. And I suspect that what I would find is that the energy emerging within our soul group would probably closely mirror the universal energies going on around us. That's just my own personal conclusion. It might be completely baseless, but it is interesting. I love you too, Andy. Thank you for stopping in, my friend. I need to do my chart. Sorry you missed the beginning of it, Mom. That stinks. You chirp. When is the age of Aquarius? I missed it. It's already started, my friend, in my opinion, about 100 years ago. And we've not fully entered into that pure stream of age of Aquarius yet. But I think once Pluto moves into Aquarius, which will happen within the next year, when it stations direct for the next 20 years, things are going to change very drastically, and we will be much, much deeper into the age of Aquarius. Scorpion. All right, everybody. So I hate to do this to you guys, but I am going to have to get off of here for tonight and start downloading this and upload it to YouTube. And I've got behind the last two. I have not uploaded to YouTube yet, but I am going to work on doing that tonight. My rising sign changes from Aquarius to Aries depending on all my placements on the cusp, maybe. Yeah, I personally, for me, Arlena, I like using Placidus more than I do whole sign. It seems to be more accurate for me, but I know not everyone feels that way. So if I was you, I would look at both of those. I would look at your chart with whole sign and then look at it with Placidus. Thank you, Brock. I appreciate you. You guys are so awesome. Thank you for reaching that goal for me. Ari loves you. Aw. She recognizes your voice. I love that. I absolutely love that. Thank you, Aaron. Make sure and give her some love from me. Thank you, Snow Leopard. I hope you have a fantastic night. You like Placidus too. Thank you all for your time. Thank you all for being here and for bringing your time, attention, and energy to this group. Brock, never had your chart done. Suggestions. You can get a pretty good, absolutely free analysis done by doing a quick Google search for astrology. Is it Astro Cafe? Aaron, help me out there. I think it's Astro Cafe. But if you want a really good in-depth reading for pretty cheap, look up the ARE, the Association for Research and Enlightenment. If you go to their website, you can order a natal birth chart reading based on the Edgar Cayce readings, and they are incredibly accurate, and most of them are $20 or less. There's different types of readings you can have done, but they are incredibly accurate, and I highly recommend them. So on that note, guys, I am going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you all for your time. Thank you for being here. I love each and every one of you guys, and I can't wait to do this again tomorrow. Have a good night.